What's up, man?
I did it. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. We didn't know if you're going to video call in or we're trying to use this Zoom.us kind of conference calling thing because they're really cool. And we're trying to see if that's the way we can kind of do sweat equity interviews, and we'll probably keep even this part in the podcast.
Did you record it?
I think it's recording as we're going, right?
I don't. Did you?
Once you start the Zoom.us like meeting, it automatically starts recording. Should be top left.
It does say it's recording.
Yeah. Yeah, son.
Yeah, I didn't know which one to use or how. I'm just on my phone. I don't have my computer here, so I just called the number.
All good. I think the idea is if you have the option to do video, because we're trying to have more streaming options, great. If not, we'll just talk to you just like a normal audio podcast, and we'll have a boring still shot for the viewers.
No, I'll edit it. It'll be edited.
I just don't have that good of Wi-Fi here at my house. I could try to get on my computer and see if it'll work.
No, brother, it's all good. It's all good, man. Because we try to keep this tight. We know your time. We want to keep everybody's high-functioning adult. The third mic you're going to hear just stepped in the room. That's Damien Alpazar, 208 Monkeys owner.
I'm back, baby.
Cool.
Creative, all that stuff. Sweet. How you been, man? It's been a while.
I'm good. I've been good, man. I'm really good. How about you?
I was staring at your book earlier. That's in our office. It's called Free Roll for anybody listening and wants to go on and support Mr. Tobler. And did I tell you all how I met Brant?
No.
So I heard about his. He's got legendary stories, and I heard him on Bert Kreischer's podcast about a month before the national championship with Auburn and FSU. And I was like, this guy sounds awesome to hang out with. And Brant's deal is he sneaks into a lot of stuff.
All right, I got you. You have told me about
one of his
sneaking.
One of his many gifts, he sneaks into like, as we met, I think it was 2013. It was either 2013 season, so it was January 2014. You were telling me that you snuck into that national championship with I can remember this, a Norm Macdonald lanyard pass when he had a sports show.
Yeah.
Question. Is it really sneaking, or do you just walk confidently? Because I think sneaking is like you follow somebody.
Yeah, walking confidently is part of it, but it's a little sneaking of you need someone to turn their back or not really be paying attention. I luckily I snuck in this big gate and these people followed me, and then I just pretend like I was on the phone, and the security guard had to make a decision who to stop, and luckily they chose to stop the other couple, and I just kept going, and I made it in.
That's a good tip.
I did kind of have to sneak in this big gate, and then but then most of it is just then and then when they tried to stop me, I just pulled up my lanyard and was like, I'm doing the halftime show, and just kept going.
But the Norm Macdonald sports show pass is like that's the icing on it.
Did it say Norm Macdonald on it?
Yeah,
like
it was my buddy's like pass to get on the lot. He worked on the Norm Macdonald sports show, so I was like, well, this should work as good as anything. So
yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, and we saw an incredible game. It was awesome, and then luckily enough, you guys had a seat. Once I got in, somehow there was an open seat right by you guys, so I got to spend the whole second half with you guys, which was awesome.
Yeah, so one of my best friends, Brendan T. Gleason, used to be stand-up. I don't think he does it as much anymore, but knows all the people in the stand-up community in LA and stuff. And he was telling me he was friends with you, and I was like, no way. I just heard his like whole life on Bert's podcast. That's awesome. He's like, yeah, he's gonna come up here, and I was like, oh, it's fucking cool. And then I was in Boner Jam heaven. Damien, you probably didn't see this game because it's college football.
I thought you were referring to your Boner Jam. No,
yeah,
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that either.
That was the game title.
Unless you're looking through the tight bike shorts I like to wear around here. But what Auburn went up kind of like a crazy lead. It was I can safely say, even though I'm on the losing end of this, it was one of the best national championship games. Florida State came back and just like, but we saw Brendan crumbling because he's an FSU fan. for 3 quarters, like just melting. And I remember Brant just like him and I were like whispering like, "Holy shit!" And I'm like, "Don't jinx it, bro." Don't jinx it. And Brendan's like having like a like a sport. You know, the guys that take sports a little too seriously and like, come on.
It affects their week.
Oh, dude.
Relationship with their wife.
It definitely wrecks every Saturday Florida State loses. He's definitely like depressed the rest of the day, kind of thing. And so I was like, you can't even make jokes. It was such a lead. Like I couldn't even hate on him at that point. And I didn't want to do it because I jinxed myself. And then I think I eventually did, and then we lost. But it was a crazy game, and then I had to go in an FSU bus. It was me and one other Auburn person, and then like 40 FSU people who were really classy.
I bet they were cool about it.
Oh, yeah. They were so cool. They were like, "Oh, fuck it." And you were on the bus. Did you ride the bus with us back? I can't remember.
I rode the bus. I rode the bus back to Hollywood, which was awesome.
And you got dropped off at the Comedy Store, which was such a baller move too. You snuck in the national championship and then got dropped off on a party bus right in front of the Comedy Store, as I recall.
Yeah, and there was that girl from the real world that I like always had a crush on that was super hot on the bus, and she was like dancing on the pole and shit. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, our buddy DM, R.I.P.
Yeah.
She's passed away since, but she's awesome.
Yeah, she was so cool, and I remember just watching her on TV forever, and I was like, holy shit, that's DM. And she was super nice and just was so much fun. I was like, that was just the icing on the whole night was incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
One of those you just can't duplicate. Like if you try to duplicate it, you would just mess it up.
Yeah, it was just the game. The game's crazy enough. Like when you see a good game, that's you're like edging basically. You know what edging is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're basically like almost about to shoot it, and then like all the other things like partying beforehand at the tailgates and stuff, and like Brant's crazy story and just glomming on as a stowaway under a bus, and just other stuff.
Just that Brant found a seat to sit in.
So
you
not
sneak
really.
in, you don't have a ticket.
It wasn't really a seat.
Yeah.
It was bench style, so it was one of those things where
Oh
like
God, that sucks.
Cross your legs, man. Squeeze in.
Yeah.
Suck it in.
And then everybody says Rose Bowl's terrible, and I think it's awesome to watch a game in because I think there's a good view everywhere, but everybody says the opposite. So
You're an old man. You like it when stuff kind of sucks.
yeah, that's how you improv with this podcast. Keep it yes and. So what, Brant? What's going on? I didn't have a purpose for hitting you up. I just like, hey, it's been a while since I talked to you.
Yeah.
And figured you might have something to promote or something going on, or just want to shoot the shit.
Yeah.
But entrepreneurship, any advice you have for the youngins out there that you've learned, that's kind of what this podcast is about, like real pragmatic, practical stuff.
Well, the only advice I would say, and I learned it writing that book, is just like, it's just such generic advice, but just keep going, because you just don't. I didn't know. In hindsight, everything led me to everything I've done. Kind of, it all led there. But when I was going through it, I didn't realize it. Which is, like So now I left Los Angeles. I hated LA, and I live in Denver. And then
Nice.
One of my friends moved up from Albuquerque, and then we start talking. And he was a big fan of Barstool Sports, which I didn't really know that much about. And now I fly to New York a Sunday morning to audition for Barstool for a week, which if I get this job, it'll change my whole life. So it's like the most generic advice, but I didn't know what brought me to Denver. I just knew I wasn't happy in Los Angeles. And somehow all this kind of just came together. And now I think I'm going to get this job, and it's going to be life changing. But
I've got a few ideas why you left LA.
oh yeah.
I mean, it's expensive. I left, really the thing that broke me on staying there was I spent an average of 3 hours of my life in my car every day. And that was like killing me. That was like killing my soul. That's how I started listening to podcasts, because I was just like, I need something to distract me.
So it was a good thing.
In a way, I'm glad I did it, but I think if I stayed there, I would have been kind of miserable fighting through that every day. Think about 3 hours. Think about that.
Yeah.
No.
Good question.
Well, that's advice too. If you're miserable, just change it. I'm surrounded by people in my life. Like I grew up in a small town in Wyoming, and some of these people never leave and they're miserable. I'm like, you got to just change it. Your hometown will always be there. You can always go back. But, you know, that's one thing that as I gotten older, I changed with like people in my life that I think are toxic, or I just get rid of stuff that's not, you know, anyone that was like an angry drunk in my early 30s. I was like, man, I'm too old. This isn't fun. And I eliminated them from my life, even though some of them were friends for a long time, but it was some of the best decisions I ever made. And like I said, leaving LA was the best decision. I should have probably left 6 months earlier, but I was, you know, if you're miserable, change it. I hate pouting. That would be my advice to younger people. Don't pout. If you don't like something, change it.
That's about the theme of this show, man. I mean, no bitching.
It's good to bitch for a little bit, get it out of your system, but don't make your life victimizing. You know, like
it's always good to vent, but you know, some people, it's just I'm just surrounded by it. There's just a couple people in my life that I keep telling them, you got to change it yourself. Just complaining to everybody all the time on Facebook and nonsense. You're wasting your time and everybody else's. You got to go for it sometimes.
I mean,
go for it all the time, actually.
That's good hustle advice. I mean, you either do it on purpose or subconsciously, but the overhead, I call it, the friends that are overhead, the ones that cause a lot of drama,
take from you instead of adding to your life, sort of thing.
Yeah, the one-way friends. It's you got to cut that overhead, just like any business expense. That's just a fat part of your budget.
That was a lot of I left LA is like, it wasn't real friendships, and like that's what I love about having a regular life now. Like I go to my friends' kids' soccer games, or we do barbecues, or I have a real life with real people, you know.
Yeah.
Do you sit with their parents at least?
Yeah, with their parents, of course.
Okay. Yeah, don't sit by yourself.
I know. Yeah, sometimes there's like the one guy by himself. I'm like, does this guy have a kid here, or is he just scouting?
Start pairing them off. That one's accounted for. That one's accounted for.
I've been watching Little League Baseball all morning on TV, but I wouldn't go out to the games by myself. That's a little creepy.
In some yellow tinted glasses. No, everything's cool.
Blue blockers.
Yeah, man. Well, no, that is good advice. That is, if you're wanting to do something off mic all day today, Eric and I have been talking about time and labor capacity and what your ability kind of is. And I think you kind of have to figure out how much time you actually have in a day. There's the whole Warren Buffett thing of like everybody has the same amount of time deal, which makes you feel like a piece of shit because he's a billionaire.
Easy for his ass to say.
Right. But it is true, though. It's very easy to get complacent and make these hurdles and go, hey, I can't do this because I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough of this. And then when you really get into, because I consider comedians entrepreneurs, even though they won't, but you have to hustle. It really like there's so many talented guys that are really funny, but they don't get anywhere sometimes because they don't even think about the business side because they want to be a romantic creative, you know?
Right. How often do you guys do your little, I mean, because you came to the conclusion that LA was not for you. How often do you guys do your little evaluation of, do I really like this, or is this just a sucky day, or is this just a sucky month, or is this a sucky life?
All the time?
Every minute of my life.
Being a stand-up, you're super introspective all the time because you have to pull material, so you're always kind of up your own ass a little bit, I think. Brant, what do you think?
Yeah, I think about it a lot, especially as I get older, just because you just don't make any money, and it just gets so draining being broke. You know, you gotta hustle so hard, but it's the job itself is great, but just all the crap that comes with it makes me question sometimes if it's all worth it.
So, Brant, are you allowed to talk about the Barstool Sports job that you're looking at? What's it gonna be like?
It's just a big. They had like a open audition thing where like 20,000 people signed up or tried to make it. They call it Barstool Idol, and then so they narrowed it down to like 36 of us, and we went out to New York, and now they narrowed it down to 12. So there's 12 of us going for if you win a job essentially, so you win a 6-month contract. So just for me, it would be life changing because they have such a big, they have such a big fan base, which I think is my fan base. A lot of these stories of me sneaking in or getting drunk or doing it is really relatable to like the 20 to 35-year-old dudes.
Trying to kill your dad.
If I get it, I would do my podcast and do content for them, but then it would solve all my money problems because I'd probably be able to sell out almost any club in the country. So it's a huge moment for me, and I'm at this point where I'm like, because I'm here in Denver and I love Denver, but I've made it to the top of the Denver comedy chain, you would say, but there's just no money in it. So if for some reason I don't get this Barstool job, I think I'm going to take a radio job when I get back, just because I need a life change here.
Yeah,
I'm 40. I want to get married. I want to have kids, and I can't really do that making $25 a night. So
as someone who has who's married,
You don't
and has
have
kids,
to get married, dude.
Yeah.
We're all married.
It may not be that great. No.
The grass is always greener.
I want kids. I should say that.
The kids are cool.
You can adopt from China and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Technically, you don't have to marry to have the kids. I mean, we've proven that in America over time and time again.
That is true, but it's
It's
a hard sales pitch right now to most of the women in my life. They're not going for it.
That is something interesting that I haven't really brought up on the podcast, but you do think about when you have kids, and it doesn't matter if you have kids or not, but you're at that age where you're not legacy necessarily, like what am I leaving on this world, but you kind of think about, like, have I been constructive with my time, or like, have I been
Did I come in enough women?
Yeah. Did I go raw dog enough for one lifetime, or do I need to make up for lost time?
Right. Well, I mean, I think down at the end of the day, we can try to say we're evolved creatures, but at the end of the day, every cell in your body is screaming at you at some point, dude. You got to reproduce. You got to like pass this awesomeness or not awesomeness on. Trust me, there's been times I've thought about, like, should I? Do I really want to pass on this awesomeness?
Well, no, it's y'all are about this. You and Brandon are about the same age, and it's better to later in life, right? Because you've made a lot of the errors that you may make if you had a kid in your 20s.
Yeah, I would have slapped my 25-year-old self, and if he had had a kid, I'd have been like, you dumbass.
Your business partner, Hector, and I love him, but he had a kid early, and that was it's
life-changing.
It's life-changing, and it's hard to be entrepreneurial. It's not impossible, but it's hard. It makes it a lot more difficult to not take a corporate job or something like that. So
yeah.
Anything we can do with the Barstool Sports stuff, can we, if we get this episode out, you said this Sunday?
Yeah, so, it's they're doing it like a reality show. So we all come in and stay at a house, and then they eliminate us. Each day they eliminate people. So I don't think there's any, like, voting or anything. I mean, I appreciate it. I think it'll be, if anybody's a Barstool fan, I think it'll air. But, yeah, if you watch it, feel free to tweet at Barstool and tell them I'm the right guy for the hire would be great. But I think that's the bad part about it. It's so out of my control that I wish I could just pitch what I really have to bring to Barstool, but they want content. So, like, I know last year's contest, they, like, oiled up a fat guy and made everybody keep their hand on him the longest. And so it's going to be probably a lot of shit like that I just got to do and just
one
be
big game
surprised
of ookie cookie.
Are you prepared to do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's not what I got into comedy for, but I just see the prize at the end is well worth it. So and I don't mind embarrassing myself, or I don't take myself too seriously. So I'll do whatever. I just want to win because I think it would if I just put my podcast on their network, I'd have a top 20 podcast in a week, which would be life changing. So I'll do whatever nonsense they want me to do.
And that podcast is the 33, right?
31.
31, excuse me. God damn it.
31, yeah.
Your stats have been on.
Fuck.
Are you going to make up for that too?
Fucking fuck.
Sometimes it's the 33.
No, I thought.
Sometimes I ask 2 extra questions.
I was like, I think he's got I'm big on jersey numbers and numbers in general with any sports people. And I was like, I think his number's 33. And I should have just looked it up. consecutive podcast episodes. I fucked up royally.
Never gonna live that one down.
I'm like Japanese in that if I get it wrong, I have to go punish myself. Very bad. But I would say what we will do is since we are good at Facebook advertising, we will take part of this episode and push it to the Barstool Sports fans and try to have some kind of graphic on there.
Leave some very pointed comments.
You know what? Just tell your fans just go buy my book and listen to my album on Spotify, because if I do get this job in New York, I'm going to need money. So that's actually what I need the listeners to do. Go buy my book on Amazon, and when you fall asleep at night, just put my CD on repeat. You don't even have to have the volume on, but get me some listens on Spotify.
Yeah, if you can go, you can get some dark web traffic and get them to do the spins like a lot of the record companies do.
It's huge in the Philippines.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, they just look at numbers. A lot of agencies don't know shit.
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
There's a lot of that going on in
Of course,
comedy.
he just gave away everything. Now, how's he going to sneak through the gate and get his spins up?
If you know, Brant, you become fast friends with a lot of comedians, and even though we weren't even doing stand up, I got his Brant. We became fast friends, and you become fast friends with a lot of people because you just do a weekend here and there, and like. It's weird because you kind of know them by their stand-up too when you start watching their stuff. And so that's how I feel with him. If anybody can figure out anything like that, it's going to be Brant. If we figure it out, he can figure it out for sure. Man, we'll put a link to all that stuff in the episode description.
Cool. I appreciate that. That'll help.
Anything else going on, man? Before we skedaddle?
You can just go to BrantTolber.com, see shows. If anybody in Vegas is listening, I'll be Vegas September 10th through the 18th. And then, I don't know, if you come to Denver, just come hang out with me, drink beer. Or come see me in New York, hopefully.
And watch your video, This Is Not Happening. It's on cc.com, Comedy Central's.
It's the best one, dude.
Yeah.
You have the best story.
Thank you, man. Easily. I appreciate it. It was cool I always wanted to do that show, and when I finally got the opportunity, it was so cool to get to do it.
Yeah, man, that is one of the best stories I think in comedy going on.
So perfect.
And it's
thank you.
There's no way you're making any of that up because
no.
It doesn't, because you're the fault.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you look good, like in parts of it. That's how you know it's pretty legit.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
what
sometimes
if his dad was all buttoned up?
Ask if I made it up. I go, why would I make that up? I'd make up a cool story. Why? This isn't a fun story, really.
But I think what you did in the beginning of the story, if I remember correctly, you start out with you tell me the first line of it, because I think you start out with that.
I started with this is the time I tried to kill my dad. And then I say, trust me, it's hilarious or something to try to break it up a little bit. But
so think about telling a story on stage, right? And you basically tell the climax of it in the beginning, and just you almost do it in reverse.
Dig your own hole,
right? And it's like,
I'll work out of this.
It's so crazy. That sounds so extreme in a crowd, and they don't know how to react.
I like it.
No, it's great. It's how.
You know what they told me to do, or we kind of talked about doing it like that because they have a lot of famous people on there, and obviously I'm not famous at all. So they're like, I had submitted some of the other stories I had, like just sneak in, or like Josh Jackson banged my girlfriend, or one time I threw a roulette ball at a pit boss, got kicked out of a casino. Stories I like to tell that are funny and fun.
Mike Vanderjack?
They're like, the Vanderjack story. They're like, we need to kill your dad's story. I was like, all right. So
can you tell
So then.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, can you tell? I got excited about the Vanderjack story.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Jeff ended up telling, he told it on This Not Happening. I wish, Jeff's my best friend, but he's not a very good storyteller. I wish they would have let
Jeff
me.
Dye.
But he's famous, so I get it. That's just how LA works. But,
can you give a curtailed version? Because I see a little rise in his pants.
Oh, I love it.
It was
only because he had the history with Peyton Manning calling him the idiot kicker,
and it happened in Florida, about 3 hours south of us. So it's a little relevant.
I'll give you the short version. So I worked for a bunch of professional gamblers, and actually one of the first huge bets I lost, I had the Colts to win the AFC, and then Vanderjagt choked this kick, and I hated him for it forever. And then I'm a diehard Broncos fan, so they had got Peyton Manning, and Vanderjagt was famous for talking shit about Peyton Manning, and then Peyton said our kicker got all liquored up and ran his mouth. So we stumbled into this bar in Marco Island, Florida called Bandy's. And as I got in there, I was like, this is definitely Vanderjagt's bar. There was Colt stuff all over. So I asked where Vanderjagt was at, and they're like, he doesn't come in because his wife caught him banging one of the waitresses. And one of the kids kept calling him wide left that he was coaching, like a 12-year-old. And he choked out this 12-year-old. So everybody in Marco Island thought he was like the dumbass that he is. So as we were sitting there, I was like, we should steal something from Vanderjagt's to give to Peyton Manning. So Jeff walked all around the bar, but everything was screwed in pretty tight to the wall. And then as we were leaving, there was 2 frames right by the front door, and it was his autographed game-worn Pro Bowl jersey, and then Edgerrin James' autographed Pro Bowl game-worn jersey, these huge frames. And we took and Jeff's like a super good-looking, famous guy, so he had girls always around him. So these girls took us. We were staying in this penthouse. We took these jerseys back to the penthouse, busted them out of the frames, and we were wearing them around like we were Pro Bowlers. Then the next day, we told the comedy club, hey, we stole these jerseys. We thought it was a funny prank. Comedy club owner got mad, as he should have. We were idiots. And he's like, hey, you got to take those back. So we took the jerseys. Brian. We threw them back in these broke frames. We took them back and just set them on the patio. So then 2 nights later, it's our last night in Marco Island, and we were bombing. The shows were awful. They were in like a seafood restaurant, and it was just rich white people that just hate. We just bombed the whole weekend.
It is a tough game. It is really tough. It starts at show started at 9:30.
Who booked that? And who thought that was a good idea to book?
The guy who owns it, Captain Brian, the guy who owns it's a really cool guy. He's really nice, and younger for a comedy club owner. It's a seafood restaurant. It's all Marco Island is like it. It's like it's one of the richest little islands in Florida, basically. And
it's an island.
But you can't there's nothing going on, so everybody kind of goes
there. Awful.
And so it's all blue hairs, and then you're trying to do jokes about. I remember like doing a joke about Twitter or something, and they're like, "What?" And I was like,
"Yeah."
It's like I think it was like it's like a telegraph.
It's like
you guys remember that?
On TV.
And then I lost it.
It was awful, and we were bombing. The only good thing was you got all the food you wanted, the seafood. So I would just sit there and bomb. But in my head, I'm like, when I get off stage, I'm getting crab legs, I'm getting lobster. I tried to eat them out of. I would just punish him. So anyway, on the last night, we bombed for the last time, and we went out to try to find some girls or do something. And every bar was dead. And we asked somebody at this bar, we're like, "Where's everybody at?" They're like, "Oh, everybody's at Vandy's because it's his birthday." And the people driving us around like, "You guys can't go to Vandy's. You stole his jerseys." We're like, "Whatever, we're going," because we were drunk. And then we got there. We're like, "Where's Vanderjagt at?" And they're like, he wasn't there. So we got drunk, and we had this dumb idea of like, nothing would be more gangster than to steal Vanderjagt's jersey, give it back, and then come back and steal it again on his birthday. So we started like looking around in, like going back towards the office, trying to figure out where they put it, because it wasn't hanging back up because we had busted the frames. And I found it in like this conference room, and then so we stole it again. And then the next morning, Jeff at the time was doing this prank show on MTV, so he had to leave Marco Island at like 5 a.m. And I was supposed to go meet him in Raleigh, North Carolina in like 3 days. And I woke up and there was a call from one of the staff of the comedy club, like, "Hey, you better get off the island. The police are looking for you. They know you stole Vanderjagt's jersey." So I had to call this girl in Naples and have her come pick me up. And then I hid out in Naples for a while. So then we flew back to LA, didn't think we're like, what are they going to do? Extradite us and, over this jersey. But what ended up, and Vanderjagt would call us and we'd have these voicemails. We still have these voicemails from Vanderjagt that are funny because he'd be like, "Hey, it's me, Vandy. Just so you know, there's cameras right above you. I saw you guys steal my jersey." He was just such a jerk off.
He called himself Vandy?
Yeah, he called himself Vandy.
Oh,
he was like, "Give me my jerseys back." And we're like, "No, we're not giving them back." We didn't care. We were just like, whatever. And then, of course, lawyers got involved. And then we didn't realize it was his game-worn Pro Bowl jersey. So they said since it was one of a kind, it's like valued at like $20,000. So it'd be like a felony. So we had to sign. We had to send him $3,000 for frames and send the jersey back. And we signed he tried to get us to sign this, some contract that said we wouldn't talk about it, but obviously I don't care much about that since I just told it and we told it on Comedy Central. So then fast forward, my friend saw Vanderjack at a charity golf tournament in Phoenix, and he asked him, and he was signing autographs, and my boys were like, hey, Diane Tobler said hi. And he just told him to fuck off, and he walked away. And then we text Vandy and said, hey man, we want to just call it cool. We're doing shows at Tempe Improv. If you want to come, we want to apologize and buy you a beer. And he just replied, fuck off, and never talked to us after that.
Sounds like a compassionate guy.
Yeah. I mean, we were dumbasses to steal his jerseys, but we thought it was a prank, and it was fun. There's a lot more to the story, but I don't.
That's pretty great as it is.
Damn. I'm telling you, Brant is.
But the highlight of it was I was really trying to take it to. I thought Peyton Manning would become my friend if I delivered him this jersey. That's how dumb I am. I was like,
I bring you this offering, Peyton.
Yeah, you did breeze by that. Like without the comedy, if you weren't comedians, you'd just be freaks. Like Peyton will love this.
Well, what's crazy about it is then I told it on like the Crap Piece. I told that story on a bunch of podcasts, and then this kid went down there with his family to Marco Island on like a family vacation, and he went to Vandy's, and then he tried to steal the jersey, and he got caught, and then he ended up in jail, and on like a 3-day weekend. So he was with his family on like a Friday night. The story I was told, he tried to steal it. He like took the frame off and put it outside by the bushes. The chef saw him, called the police. He ended up in jail, and then he was stuck in jail because it was a 3-day weekend until Tuesday. And his parents and everyone obviously hate him for trying to be like me and Jeff.
And now he's got a story.
Yeah.
I wonder what that jail cell's like. It is literally the average age is like 70.
It's like him and a manatee.
Yeah.
Well, hey, buddy, I appreciate you coming on, man. I remember why we started talking. I heard you on Cousin Sal's podcast, Against All Odds, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, good for you, man. And then I was like, come on ours.
Yeah.
Just
I got lucky that Artie didn't show up because I've known Sal for a while because Jimmy Kimmel's little sister's like my best friend. So I've always asked. It's like one of those things. People are always like, dude, you got the stories, but you're just not famous. So I always have to wait for something like that to get on, but. It worked out cool. And
I'll dovetail that into plugs for you. Read your book, Free Roll, and find the podcast, The 31, on all things wherever podcasts are found. Anything else?
Yeah.
Barstool.
And if you and since my podcast listeners, my book's on Audible. So if I did the audio for my book. So a lot of people, if you got a 5-hour drive or something or a boring day at work, just throw in the earphones and you can hear the stories. I'm a dumbass, dropped out of junior college. I never thought I'd write a book, but I'm super proud of it. I think it's a really good book. I'm shocked myself I wrote it, which is a kind of a funny thing. A lot of people in my life are very loyal to me, and I got this message so many times like, hey, I bought your book just, to support, but it's actually really good, which makes me laugh because I think what they were saying is like, I thought it would be shitty, but it's like really good. So it's this weird compliment I keep getting. But
hey, people go in with a low expectation and you shock them. That's awesome.
I get a lot of that after shows. I didn't think you were going to be any good, but we're okay. And you're like, okay, thanks.
I'll take it.
Well, and also if you follow Brand on any social media, he's living the life of fun and throws a lot of gracious, grateful kind of posts out there that he's doing a lot of crazy stuff all the time. So it's always like you get the FOMO.
A little more crazy before I find this wife and have a kid. So follow me for 9 more months. Getting someone pregnant tonight.
Dude, give yourself more time.
You're giving her like first date.
There's time.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, we're not fucking on the first date. You're not the wife material I'm looking for.
For the hustlers out there, just follow him and just watch how many things he does in a year, and you'd be really shocked. That's like kind of how you need to live your life. All right, bud. I appreciate you coming on. And,
thank you guys so much for having me on, man.
Anytime you want to come on.
Soon, hopefully.
Let me know. I'll you got in Tampa for sure. You can come up in this office and we can get crazy.
Yeah, and we got to go to a game again. That was an incredible night. So I'll get a ticket this time and we'll have fun.
All right, brother.
All right, bud. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, dude.
See ya.